Cool. So, curse words, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Same.
Yeah. How's your day?
It was a lot of playing Cyberpunk.
Nice.
I've just been playing Cyberpunk.
What do you play Cyberpunk on?
PS5.
Ooh, PS5.
Yeah.
Ooh, got the goods.
Yeah. It's good shit.
I don't know if Phantasy Star is out on the PS5 or not, because they just said they did a PS4 version, but I highly recommend Phantasy Star. I feel like Cyberpunk. It's like a futuristic RPG, like a JRPG. It's free to play. That's the big thing. It's free. So,
okay. Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's
they
up.
just launched it. So, because I know a lot of my friends from there, they play Cyberpunk. So.
Oh, okay. So that's cool because I like there's like so many good free games now. It's like
that one's been out for 10 years now, over 10 years.
Oh, really?
But yeah, they just launched last year so it's Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis.
Okay.
So it might as well be Phantasy Star Online 3.
That's what's up though.
But when you download the Phantasy Star Online 2, like you get to play both games. I would play New Genesis over base, which is just like the regular Phantasy Star Online 2, just because New Genesis is a lot more modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is paid for by Sega. This podcast is sponsored by Sega.
Sega.
Yeah.
I think Sega made Yakuza, right?
I want to say yes.
That was like one of the free games on PlayStation was the Yakuza, and I was like into it. It's pretty sick. It's like a RPG.
Yeah, I want to. So it is. Yep, Sega.
Sega holds it down. Man, Sonic's good. Like back, I don't know. That shit's just sick.
Yeah, Sega. I mean, they have bad games, but they also have a lot of really good games. And since they're such a big company, like it's hard for them not to just put out some trash sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I always had a lot of fun on the Genesis. So
sorry, I'm trying to get this joint lit. But
nice.
So, I mean, while we're talking about video games, what was your first console?
I don't know. Well, I would say probably, I don't know, back in the day, like I had a Nintendo. That was cool. When I was like really young, I got a Nintendo from, I think it was Goodwill.
Just like the classic Nintendo?
Yeah.
Nice though. Yeah, that was a good console. They're still like really good like Nintendo games that like hold up. Like
my favorite console probably that I don't know. I just really like, I had an Xbox and that was sick. I got a modded Xbox that has like hella shit on it.
Oh, nice.
I like that. Yeah. PlayStation. I like PlayStation because it's got like Final Fantasy games on it. I like Final Fantasy games.
Final Fantasy is excellent. I mean, they do. I feel like Final Fantasy's on everything now. I feel like they cross-platformed it enough. Because I want to say I have like 4 Final Fantasy games on the Switch that I have not touched because I've played them before, but I still was like, yeah, I'm going to grab these for sure. They're on sale.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is good. A lot of people are playing Final Fantasy 14 right now. There have been raves in Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, that is what I've heard. Someone in my collective grayed out. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No.
Yeah. I think you two would get along well, especially sonically.
I'll check it out for sure. ASAP.
Yeah. But they do raves in Final Fantasy. I wish I could bring that into PSO, but that seems like a really big burden to like start a new culture in a MMO.
That would be sick though. That'd be sick if you could make it work. It'd be cool.
Labgrown presents. The next Labgrown presents show will be on Fantasy Star Online 2. I hope everybody has 59 gigabytes available to come to the show.
I should. I'll delete some stuff.
Yeah, everyone, clear out your hard drives. Get ready. Upgrade your PCs. Clean the dust out of your PS4. Whatever you need to do. Or you could use an Xbox. I forget those exist. But so, because I've never had an Xbox. I borrowed one from somebody in high school to play Skyrim, and that was like it. So
Yeah,
Xbox is just like a Skyrim device to me.
I used to have like Xbox 360, and I played a lot of it's just felt like it was fun to play first-person shooters on, and they had all like a bunch of first-person shooters. So
absolutely, like Halo for sure.
Yeah, Halo.
Halo. I never got to like sit down and play a Halo game. I've definitely played Halo. I have good memories.
They're fun to like go through, you know.
Yeah, I think I've considered like playing them on PC. It's just I'm picky about games, especially playing like older games. If it doesn't have a nostalgia factor for me, I don't really want to deal with the clunky mechanics.
Yeah, for sure. I totally understand. I like games. I like a fast action, like a lot of action. So for like when I'm just trying to chill, like first person shooters, like just going online is fun.
Were you ever into Overwatch?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Like
hell yeah.
Yo, I was on that shit. Like I think I'm good. Like I'll play that shit and be like fucking killing it. And then
yeah, me too.
All of a sudden it's like you suck or like you're gold, bro. Yeah. I'm gold. Like how am I gold, bro? Like
oh my god, the first time I got gold, I was like, oh, I think I might understand how this game works now.
I'm still gold forever, dude. I haven't played that game in forever though. I don't know.
Oh,
all that shit started to get real shady with that company, and I don't know. It's
yeah, Blizzard's like sketchy.
It kind of takes the I don't know.
Doesn't make you want to spend money on it.
Exactly,
sure.
Exactly. But
if it was free to play, it might be a whole
talk about
story.
Nostalgia. I mean,
yeah,
I played that game with my brother and my cousin, and it just like basically everyone had it. So, and it wasn't. I don't know. I was never like sweating on it, or I just thought it was fun calling strats and stuff.
Yeah, because it was so much more fun as like. Once it clicked that it's more than just like a first-person shooter, like this is a strategy game.
Exactly. No, yeah, because like,
and it's like an RPG. There's the three classes, like
exactly. I loved playing tank. It was so fun. And then I was Mora for a while. That was super fun. I always try to be like I didn't want to be a DPS guy because that's like auto. Every single person is like
takes
DPS,
forever
DPS.
to get a room. If you only play DPS, like it takes forever to get a room.
Yeah, it does. I really liked Orisa. I like playing double tank with an Orisa and a Reinhardt because you can do the gravity ball, suck like everyone in, and like have Reinhardt just bash the shit out of everyone. Like, yo, I don't know. That shit's sick. It's a lot of good memories playing that game.
Absolutely. That was the game that I played like when I first got my first gaming laptop, like right when I moved out and living on my own, got my first expensive piece of equipment. I'm playing Overwatch like nightly, just like trying to crack the code.
Yeah, and people are always like so proud to be like, oh, those ranks, man. Everyone's like, I'm a freaking grandmaster or whatever. It's like, okay, I just played it because I needed to chill. Like,
it's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah, you can totally have fun playing that game. Like, it's not a game where if I do bad, I'm like, oh, I did bad. Like, but I was pretty damn good at it. I feel like, I don't know.
It doesn't have the same just like defeat that like Call of Duty or Battlefield had like when I was growing up, like this defeat of every time, just like, oh my God, I keep dying. I keep fucking dying.
Because that shit's
especially
like you lost the war, you know?
Yeah, you lost the war. I can't defend my country.
Yeah.
But
that game's hilarious.
In Overwatch, like especially if you played like a medic, your character wasn't designed to get kills. It was you just stay alive and keep everyone else alive.
That's it's just like D&D, you know, basically.
Yeah. I was playing a lot of D&D when I was playing Overwatch too, so that's why it clicked in my head.
Yeah, I mean, D&D's the shit. Like, I love that shit.
While we're still oh my God, we're only 12 minutes. I feel like we've been talking we just nerded out for like an hour. It's been 12 minutes. We're doing great on time.
You get me going on D&D, dude. Like, damn.
Let's talk about D&D. Like, so pause the podcast. So what I've changed like the format to just like we shoot the shit mostly about video games because everyone seems to like them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we're just let's definitely get into D&D. So like back into the podcast, let's talk about D&D. So curse words.
What's up?
What's your favorite class to play in D&D, first of all?
Okay, so that really just depends on how I feel. Like, when you're making a game, like, I like to find out about the setting, like, if it's going to be homebrew or whatever, if it's going to be, like, official. But I played, my past few games, I played a wizard, and they're pretty much the same character, only, like, I feel like my 5e character is like hella sick. I like him. He like goes stealth with greater invisibility, so he doesn't have to use concentration to take when he takes hits and shit, and he could just freely be invisible. And then usually I'll fly. I have boots of flying. That was a whole thing, and. Yeah, I'll fly over the top and drop some nukes, and then I'll jump in. I've got a Elven Moonblade, and if I roll a 20 on it, like, no matter what, shit just disappears. It's Vorpal. Yeah, dude, like that. Oh, I love that shit.
Oh my God. So all of the D&D that I've played, besides like in 5th grade, when I definitely played like an elf warlock for sure for like a couple games, but I was in 5th grade. I didn't know what I was doing. Only the person whose brother played D&D knew what was going on. The rest of us were just 5th graders, but yeah, I played a lot. I ran a couple campaigns, and the only reason it was multiple campaigns was because the players switched so much that I was like, all right, we got to just switch the whole setting. Let's just start anew. But most of my D&D experience is as a DM. So I love hearing people actually tell me stories about being a character.
Yeah. I love I love being a dungeon master too. It's like, I'm a kind of a creative person. Like I put how I feel like into my music or into my, like, if I write something, it's going in that, like, I try to keep my shit like emotionally driven. So like, you know how psychiatrists will say, put your shit down in a notebook. Like that's like 101. They'll say, put your emotions or write down in a notebook. But like, instead of doing that, I'll do like writing or just anything creative. I like to draw, but so just being a DM is like having another outlet for expressing yourself and telling a story. That's kind of why I like D&D. It's like telling a story.
It's also kind of like DJing. Like you're curating the vibe. Like
absolutely. It really is like DJing for sure. You're like, this is what you turn it into the shit.
And also, it's like, what does the room demand? Like, there's been so many times as a DM that it's like,
so that's why
these people are
like the best.
They're not going where I want them to go.
The best thing for you to do as a DM is excuse me, when you're prepping your game, you want to send out a little whatever, like it could be a paragraph or 5 paragraphs. I wouldn't do too much. Just don't make it a burden. Just send it out and say, this is the story. This is where you're playing. Like, this is what's going on in the setting. How is your character relevant to this? Who, what, where, when, why, how? Fill it out, send it back. Give me a couple. And then if they do, sometimes people won't. And it's like, okay, if that's not what you want to do, then whatever. But the people that do, you have a reference to look to whenever you're trying to develop a story. So if you're, guy's an outlaw, then he's gonna have posters of himself up. And if it's only in a certain location, then like percentages away, you know what I mean? Like 10 miles away, it drops 10% from 90%. Like people would recognize you 90% of the time here. But as you go out like miles away, you just reduce it, Just, you kind of gotta like make the dice help you run the game. And when they give you the information, you got hooks that you can throw into your story that is relevant to them. And it's good. It's like connecting with someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I never did so when I was running games, it was all like my friends who didn't have a lot of D&D experience. A lot of them was like their first time playing.
That's just
D&D.
how it is now. It's mostly, yeah. I've got my group of friends that play, and then I've got groups that I play with, a couple groups that are just like brand new, like a couple of my family members, brand new. So it's fun though. It's like, you're creating a narrative. They're playing through the narrative, or you're all it's really a ritual, like almost. So I would consider it some sort of like social magic, right? I don't know. There's something there about that. There's some spiritual. It's just so primal if you think about it. You're rolling dice using just talking around a fucking table.
Yeah. I mean, D&D is an old ass game, and it's been around for a very long time for a very good reason.
Yeah, well, that, and also our ancestors were at some point just shooting the shit around a fire,
absolutely.
So that's just
telling stories.
So the natural joy that you get from that is like something that, I don't know, there's some kind of natural, innate.
Because it's like a communal storytelling. Yeah. Instead of one person telling the story, you're all telling the story together.
Yeah. When I'm trying to get people into the shit, I'm like, yo, so it's a murder mystery, but instead of it's a murder mystery, it's Lord of the Rings. And that usually helps people have a fucking idea, because it's hard for people to even grasp what it actually is. In passing, people will be like, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, back in fucking my day, that shit was the devil. And I'm like, okay, fucking Jesus. There's how, if I talk about that with people at work, they'll be like, oh, D&D, that was on the news. In the 70s or some shit. I'll be like, yeah, it's just chilling. It's just fun, chilling. It's literally a game.
It's a talking game, and the only way you have the dice call bullshit on your character, and that's basically it.
It's cool. The dice is just chance. It's like probability.
It's adding flavor to the situation. Because I always tell my players, I'm like, just tell me you're going to do something and just keep saying you're doing things, and I will check you if you need to get checked.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep.
Or I'm a player that's like, could I roll this to do this? I want to roll this to do this.
And that's the cool thing. And that comes from having played D&D.
Yeah. When people get used to it, I say after about 3 months of solid actually just playing it, probably 2 times a month or 1 time a month even. I feel like by the by like there's a time when it just clicks and people get like hella into it. And you know now because there's Hero Forge. And they're like, I was looking at Hero Forge. I'm going to print my character. I'm like, well, I hope you guys like to play that shit. Because that shit's expensive, dog.
I want to say I've tried to spend as little money on D&D as possible. I do own...
It's possible to like...
I do own a very, very large library of like one-shot campaigns.
Yeah.
That I don't use.
As long as you got reference and, you know...
Yeah, they're always like, sometimes if I was like stuck, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna rip off one of these. Like,
hell yeah! At least you're playing, you know. That's the coolest part is playing, you know.
And like ripping off something for a game with your friends is perfectly fine. Like, absolutely. If you're like trying to make profit off it, that's where it gets sketchy. But if you're doing it for fun, like just rip something off, like straight up. Take your for a while, I was taking all my favorite animes and I was ripping them right off. I was like, I'm just gonna do the same thing, and you know use the same setting, explain things that way. Well, I didn't use like the same setting. I used but like there's a point where I was. Do you know the anime Noragami?
No.
All right. Well, I won't get too. Good show, great show.
I'll check it out for sure. I usually check out recommendations like almost immediately. So,
it's on Netflix. I want to say still.
So what's it called? Hold on.
Noragami.
Nora.
Hell yeah! But so there's there is like because it's about gods, and so there is like the near shore and the far shore, and so I just ripped straight off that to explain like how these people are experiencing, you know, one setting and then walking, and then now all those people are gone and you see like a ghost, you know. It's like, oh, I'll just rip right off that because that makes sense to me. That clicks. Like I was able to just use that explanation. And like,
yeah, it's good to be able to like, in all forms of creativity, it's good to be able to like soak up like art.
Yeah, and
especially if you like ideas. It a lot, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's knowledge. Like art is knowledge, so
it's just applying that knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
So, with art, specifically with music, what are 3 artists or albums that you feel influence curse words sonically?
I always think about that. It's really what influence. I'm gonna have to say one group that influenced me is absolutely Salem. I really like Salem. Just their use of textures and tones and I don't know. It's just something about Salem that really hit for me. I remember hearing it being like, this is the fucking shit. Because it's like screwed and chopped and it's like shoegaze and it's just like dark aesthetic. I fuck with that. They look cool as fuck. I fuck with that. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at their page. They look like some cool people, and they're actually from Traverse City, Michigan, so not that far from me.
There you go. I thought they were from Chicago, so that's cool. That's we got to make some witch house. Like,
yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to check them out, especially if they are influencing you, for sure.
Yeah, when you listen to Salem, like you can hear one thing that I like about Salem is just like I really like that I apply to my music is I use a lot of heavy saws. That's important to me, and they're really versatile. But like, if you get one that's a little dirty, it's good for like under your 808s. It's good for your kicks. If you get one that's a little cleaner, that's good for like melodies or like throwing a counter melody on your track. So That's what I like those. Like, I love the sound of a fucking, just a dirty ass saw, just fucking gross on top of an 808. I love it. It just adds something to it.
Absolutely. And like I can definitely tell that you're a big fan of it. And that has made me a big fan of it by hearing it in your music. Like,
thank you. Well, I'm glad you're checking that shit out. Salem's good. Yeah, they also do the hi-hats really fast. Like, I was like, ever since I heard black metal, I thought blast beats were the shit. And I wanted to incorporate like blast beats. And I hear it in trap, there's like blast beats. Like, when the fucking snare is going so fucking fast. Like, I love that shit. So I've been lately incorporating more of that, like just hi-hats to just go. So they have to be pretty clean too, because, if it's going so fast, if it's dirty, then it's all going to get mumble jumbled together, which something that I kind of like worry about, because I use a lot of layers and shit like that.
Yeah, your tracks are very dense in a very good way. There's like,
thank you, because I worry about that. That's something that
anytime you listen, you could pick some new thing out through like each track, especially like through your album you dropped this year. That was this year, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy. It's September. Yeah, that was
self-titled.
Yes, the self-titled Cursewords album. All of those songs, like every time I listen to it, I'm like, I haven't heard that part. Like, that layer's been there this whole time. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And now I'm hearing it just because maybe I had it a little bit louder this time, or it's just in a different listening environment, or I was just in a different headspace.
Headspace for sure can affect it. Like, I wanted to make music that was, I don't know. I use a lot of different styles and shit. I want to be versatile, so I feel like emotionally I want it to be versatile, and like, you should be able to pick up shit out of it that you like different stuff all the time. Pops through, That's cool. That means there's longevity, right?
You got Easter eggs in there. You got bonus content.
What is it?
I was calling it Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Bonus content.
Like, you're used to it, but then all of a sudden, there's a gospel sample.
It's like, I never noticed that. So, who else influences you sonically?
I'd probably say a big inspiration for curse words would probably be Dude Ranch, Enema era, Blink-182, probably.
Okay.
Like, it's the hooks,
Yeah.
You can't deny it. It's heavy. Like, you listen to those guitar tones, they're heavy. Like, I want to make heavy fucking pop music. And Blink-182 pretty much made pretty heavy pop music, I feel like.
Yeah.
They just had hella bangers.
They did, like, especially that like era, like every song on there was a great hook.
Yeah.
Some of the verses are trash, and that's like great hook though.
It's all about the hooks.
It's the hooks or the rhythm guitar even. It's just like, yeah, I'm in. Like,
yeah, you listen to it like pretty heavy. You listen to Weezer, Blue Album, hella heavy.
Weezer's only album.
Yeah.
Blue Album.
Pinkerton's fire though.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pinkerton. Oh, okay. You don't know, but you know. I feel you.
I just like to live in this mystery world where Weezer only had one album. It was the Blue Album. Just because Pinkerton, there starts to become some problems in Weezer at Pinkerton. That's when they start to reveal a couple issues lyrically. However, I will say that when I did believe in Pinkerton, that album did shred, but I don't believe in it anymore.
Okay. El Scorcho, though, that song's pretty... That song hits.
So we got Blink 182, Salem, and give me one more influence.
Maybe probably like Aphex Twin, I would say.
Okay.
Because like I like the song Come to Daddy by Aphex Twin. It's like super heavy. Aphex Twin honestly is just like just crazy. Like all the different sounds that he makes, like as far as like songs, like he switches it up a whole lot. Like it's really heavy, really like funky. Some shit like Window Licker is crazy. That video is crazy. I would say Aphex Twin. That's what really turned me on to like IDM. I don't really listen to a lot of it, but definitely a lot of Aphex Twin. But if you listen specifically Come to Daddy, that song, because it's like so heavy. And I feel like he's almost like, I don't know, poking fun or trying to be like an edgelord maybe. I don't know. Because if you listen to everything else, it's like not heavy, like super breakbeat heavy shit. It's like there's breaks, but like a lot of it's really just created with synth sounds and stuff. So I don't know, he's cool. Oh, I'm just gonna say this, like Hans Zimmer, like definitely shout out Hans Zimmer, Interstellar, Fire. I'm a huge fan of like a lot of his scores. I like scores, action movie scores and shit.
All right, that definitely comes through in your music. Because there's a lot of songs that it's like, you know, you could put this on like this could be on an indie action film, you know, just, you know, muffled behind the sounds of a gunfight or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's that theatrical vibe that you present in your music where it goes a lot of places.
I'm glad you said that.
Song.
I'm glad you see that or hear it in my music. That's
a big thing with artists who keep getting like clunked into hyperpop that are just making like truly like maximalist.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I said kind of from the beginning is like, I like maximalist. Like I like how hard, like I like music that goes hard. I always have. So I want to hear pop that's like really pushing it. Like parts of this,
yeah.
If it was minor, could sound like maybe grindcore, you know, but it's pop.
And you do it very well, and not just saying that because we're buds. Truly, like I fuck with your music, and
thank you.
Like,
yeah, I like to keep it interesting,
and you do. But besides artists that influence you sonically, who are the artists that are inspiring you to keep making music?
Honestly, I'm gonna say I like Blade. I like what Drain Gang's doing. I saw Blade. That was fun. Just the energy, the hooks. The hooks are fire. White Armor is he's insane. So Blade, taking out my emotions on something creative.
Yeah, I feel like I need to rephrase how that question. I asked that question, but like, yeah, you don't have to have like a ton of artists that inspire you, but like, because everyone has like that one thing, like something outside of other people that keeps them going.
Yeah.
But I feel like I cut you off. What were you saying?
I was gonna say like OPN, One Throx Point Never. I think that's how you say it. I'm not like I listen to their music. It's really good. I like Midwest emo. Like I listen to Foxing a lot. I like them. They're fire.
Right.
That's a fire.
Foxing rules, I will say. Yeah, and that Midwest emo, it doesn't, especially I guess the Foxing comes across that, you know, that same like theatrical vibe because Foxing is
absolutely.
They're past like Midwest emo, even though like they definitely are in that vein. But they, especially now, they've always been past it, even with like Bloodhound.
Yeah,
but even
they also keep it really original and like are switching it up. Like every album, they like switch it up a little bit, and yeah, they're just really creative. And the content they release, they're cool. It's the same with Drain Gang. They're always dropping content like all the time. like no promo or like just like one post, and then usually it's like pretty good. So no one really, I feel like I don't really get a lot of influence like as far as like to keep making music. Honestly, it really comes from just me like kind of being just like needing to have a place to go like create. So I'm always like, and it's so fun to sit down and like work on music. It's like how I relax, you know, it's kind of how I ground myself, honestly. I don't know if that was like off topic or whatever.
No, that's a perfectly like on topic answer. So when you are sitting down and, you know, grounding yourself and working on music, what does that space look like? What does your studio look like?
It's real simple. I have FL Studio 20. I bought it. Like, it was on sale, so I just like bought it. A lot of tracks actually that you'll hear of mine, like older ones, I like was just using the demo. So I just would have like a song just sitting on my computer just for like a month, and I'll just come down and fuck with it and then save it. But so that was like a big thing. It's like actually buying the DAW. So I have that, and then I have just a shitty snowball microphone that I sing my vocals with and do whatever. I have a Korg. That's what I like put my midis in with. So it's a micro Korg XL.
Micro Korg XL. All right.
Yeah.
It's one of the little guys.
Yeah, just a little, just to get me like going on like an idea. Like if I have a sample that I'm trying to like work with, I'll like play around. I'll play the sample and then just like fuck with my micro Korg on top of it for like ever until I figure something out. That's it. That's really honestly it.
Hey, that's...
Oh, I have a Pod GX. That's like, it plugs in and you can play guitar through it. I don't really have a lot of guitar tracks, but I have some. It's fun to fuck around with it.
You play guitar then?
What is it?
You play guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. Like, I just like fuck around on it.
And well, especially like being in the digital space is like, you can kind of fuck up and just make it sound right in post.
Yeah. I mean, really, honestly, like, guitar is pretty versatile. You can use it for like so much. You can make them real moody, make it into a pad with a EBO. I like using guitar.
What kind of guitar do you have?
I have a Schecter Orchid is what I'm playing on.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then I also have a Gretsch that's pretty nice. Black. I love it. Gold, black and gold.
Those are some nice guitars.
Yeah,
definitely some great recording guitars too, like great tones. Ooh,
Clean's the Gretsch. It's a hollow body, and it's got this big body on it. So Clean sounds really good out of it, or like a little bit of crunch to do some like punk stuff. But the Orchid is I tuned to one step down D standard on it, so I can do some like metal stuff if I want. Yeah. It's always fun to fuck around, play some metal.
Absolutely, just turn the distortion up and shred out.
Yep.
So curse words. Also, do you want me to keep calling you curse words? Is there another name you want me to call you?
You can call me Drew.
Drew?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So Drew, we've now revealed your name on the podcast. You're Drew.
Yes, I'm Drew.
At what point do you write your lyrics?
Honestly, I'm like, lyrics are like big with me. It's like kind of I don't know. I feel like I suck at lyrics. Kind of a challenge for me. I'm really like, I always get so much anxiety when it comes to, I'm not the best. Like, I like writing fiction. Like, I like writing like speculative fiction, like sci-fi or like fantasy or horror. I can do that like all day, but like lyrics are kind of a challenge because it's hard for me to like, I don't know, open up, and like, it's just tough. So when I write lyrics, I always I'm always like in a situation where it's like, oh, I'm bored. I'm going to pull my phone out and try to write some lyrics. Let's see what I can do. Or like, I'll be like intently like, I'm going to pull my phone out and write some lyrics for a little bit before I go to bed. Or like, if I ever go on a vacation, like I like to vacation. If I ever go on a vacation, I'll take a notebook, just like write. I got a moleskin just for like, and just like, take some time to like kind of reflect and try to make a poem and make it into a song. So really what it comes down to is like, I do the lyrics separately and then I'll have a song done and I'll reference my lyrics and be like, what would go good here? So I kind of like accumulate and then see what's going to work the best.
Okay, that's like, it's a very, I can't wrap my head around actually like executing that writing style. It's very unique. Like I'm sure a lot of people
weird,
do
yeah.
it, but it's definitely like
it's because
unorthodox.
Honestly, it's cool. Because I would say I'm probably not that good at it. So I'm just trying to do the best I can, really.
And it's like, you found a way that works for you. You found a way that it's cathartic, at least, to just sit down and write, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and like I said, like just being able to create. So sitting down and writing lyrics is like nice to be able to like create something. It helped me a lot when my grandma died. I was like writing a lot. So
I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm glad that you had like an artistic outlet to reflect on those things. It's so important, especially like even if it doesn't go anywhere, you still have done it and you still get that thing from it, you know?
Yeah. That's what I think about like art in general though. That's why I think it's important to like society to like push arts, like, because it helps like instead of people sitting around, how do I say it? Like, just like all up in their shit, like chaos, like a creative outlet allows you to sit down and take that chaos and kind of like start to like flatten it out and like work it and knead it and write it and pitch shift it. And, you know, if everyone had a creative outlet, I think it could be beneficial.
Absolutely. There's just that issue with, you know, especially people who are not particularly artistic, that struggle of being like, well, this looks like shit, or this sounds like shit, or this reads like shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's just a part of the process.
That's just a part of the process. Like,
absolutely.
And it's just, especially if you like, you get overcritical, but like, you just have to reach the point. You're saying, I'm making art for art's sake. I'm making it doesn't necessarily have to be good. There's no real way to judge if it's good or not if it doesn't leave me. It's whether it's useful or not, you know? And that's probably the more important thing, is whether your art is useful to you, whether than it's good.
Absolutely.
When you write lyrics, I guess you kind of explained, but what is the goal when you are making a song, when you're putting lyrics to instrumental? Like, what is the goal?
So it would be kind of probably to express the idea behind what I was writing. But honestly, what it really comes down to for me is like, it's gotta like hit, it's gotta make the song interesting. If I'm using it like a line, I'll pitch shift it and like try to make it fit somewhere. Or like, really, it's like, how's what I wrote going to like impact this piece? Where's it gonna take it? Like, cause like, I don't know. There's been times where I've written something and was like so into something, and then like I'll pick up a notebook from like a couple years ago with like something I haven't used before, and then I'll bring it back and do it, and I'll be like, that's the one, you know? It's like, so it's really just, it's got to be like a strong hook. That's my like, if I'm making a pop song, like I do, if you listen to my music, like if you're listening to this, like I listen to curse words, I want to find out about that shit. Like I'm like really, I put my hooks like kind of on a pedestal.
You really do, and that's
So I want, above all, lyrically, I want the hook to be like the shit, and then I would say I want everything else to be like good and complement the song. But if it's not, I don't know, if it's not like as good, I don't want my verses to be as good as the hook, because I feel like in my pop songs, I want my hook to be that shit that's everyone's like thinking like all the time, or like, you know, you get a song caught in your head like an earworm. I like earworms.
yeah. I feel like you and I work in almost opposite ways, because I'm always want the hook to be good, but I have grown away from putting hooks in my songs. So it's always like the verse has to shine.
Yeah.
Each verse, and it puts so much more pressure on each verse though, of because you aren't trying to get that just like, you know, 4 bars that everyone's gonna remember. I'm trying to get like, you know, all 64 bars people are gonna remember. It's so stressful.
Yeah. I would say you're absolutely like a lyricist for sure. Like, and that shines in your work. So when I hear your work, it's definite.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you're more of.
I feel like I'm more of
musician.
A producer. Yeah,
you're a producer. You're a musician.
Yeah, a songwriter, a musician.
Not to say that I'm not a musician. I mean, it is up for debate. And here I made a point that really didn't make any sense, but it started a conversation. So here's that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a little more chaotic than that. I'm not really precise whenever I come to lyrics. I feel like, except for with the hook. If I feel like it sounds bad, I gotta switch it up. Like when I create a song, I'll listen to it like thousands of times and be like, okay, I gotta take that out. You know, or if you know, I feel like if I feel that something doesn't fit lyrically, I'll have to change it, you know, after a few listens. But sometimes it's hard for me to be like, okay, this does fit, or, you know, and then I'm not happy. I'm going back listening to like the release versions of shit and be like, well, that was dumb. I like the raw nets. They use the wall of sound technique, which is what I like, the wall of sound. It's just like fucking energy, ball of energy. I like it. So I use it. I've been kind of pulling back a little bit though, being a little more on some of my newer stuff. It's definitely more minimalist than self-titled, but
so I wanted to talk a little bit about now I can't find it again. God damn it. Your past releases besides your self-titled. Then I want to talk a little bit about your self-titled. But first, let's talk about what do you have out besides the self-titled that came out this year?
What do I have out besides that?
Yeah.
I've got a lot of like old stuff like on Bandcamp. I've got a few singles out through my distribution. I've got a really kind of like my first shot at putting together some kind of a pop thing called Citrus Vibes. Pretty amateur sounding, I'd say, but I enjoy it. And yeah, So Far Away, like that's a single that's like 5 minutes long. I wanted to like have this one big expressive idea. I'm working on another track like that. That's one big kind of expressive idea. Doesn't doesn't really fit my vibe. My dog's going crazy.
Yeah, so I've listened to Citrus Vibes. I listened to it a couple times because I was just bumping your stuff, and that was before the self-title came out, so there wasn't too much on, like, out. And I was like, well, I've listened to Complex like 40 times, so I feel like I'm going to listen to this now. And it definitely is like, it's a good example of what you could do at the time, and I'm glad that it's still on streaming so that maybe people aren't gonna like listen to it and be like, oh, this is so dope. But that's a good reference point of being like, well, this holds up. This is pretty good, you know. But like this new shit though, you know.
Yeah, I feel the same. 100%. I learned a lot, and I just keep learning, and I'm just applying stuff that, you know. That's what I gotta say about that. Like,
Yeah.
As you go, like, you learn different things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm still learning every day. You know,
That's a good thing. We should literally always be seeking knowledge and learning through creative process.
yeah. Whether it's about the process or it's about yourself. Either or, if it's both, that's even better. But
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like at times they could be one. Sorry, my dog's like freaking out right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
So, anyways, yeah. So what were we saying? Sorry.
Sorry, I just paused the podcast. I just opened up SoundCloud to get a link really quick.
Okay.
And I have 120 plays. And I was like, what the fuck?
On
I usually
120 plays. That's what
this
the fuck
week,
is
like,
up.
yeah. So shout out Ab, my friend Nick, for 40 of those plays. That was really dope of you. But shit, what were we were talking about? Learning about the creative process or learning about yourself?
Learning through the creative process.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really, you know, you're always going to be learning when you're doing something creative. It's kind of one of the cool things about being creative. And it kind of bums me out because like non-creative people, you'll be like, yeah, you know, they'll be like, oh yeah, well, I don't want to do that because I don't know how. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't know how either at one point, or no one knows, you know, in the beginning how to do something. You got to learn.
Yeah. That's like something I always tell people. I'm like, I used to suck. I used to not be good. A lot of the stuff that sucks really bad, you just can't see it because I didn't show it to anybody. It does take a lot of making hot garbage to eventually make something you're actually proud of.
Yeah. It's like practice.
Practice makes perfect.
There's so many unreleased tracks that were just like not at the level that it should have been.
I have quite a few released tracks that are not the level they should have been.
Yeah, I've got a couple, I would say, that I'm not as happy with, but the world turns, you know.
Yeah, just keep going. Well, why not?
Yep.
Definitely mid podcast uploading a YouTube video.
That's what's up. I love working in my DAW. It's fun.
Actually, FL feels like a video game, honestly. Like,
yeah, you know what's funny? I played that PlayStation video game that was like MTV Music Maker.
Yeah.
for
Oh my God.
PS1, and it is like it's kind of like FL. That's like an old ass PlayStation DAW.
Oh my God. I'm looking it up because I need to see like what it looked like. Oh my God. This is just FL.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's rich. Oh my God. They went up to Music Generator 3.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm gonna get that shit. Just like, I wonder if there's like a SoulSync file out there that's like, hey, this is all the samples from all the MTV Music Generators. Probably not one Amen break.
But that would be, or just like drop a mixtape that you made completely on Music Generator.
That'd be fun. I always think about like so many ideas. It's hard to like be like, oh, this is what I have to, this is what I'm doing. Stay
Yeah.
focused. Yeah. I like to have a lot of projects going. It feels good to have like something that I know like, oh, next time I get sit down and fuck with music, I'm definitely gonna be working on that Miley Cyrus remix, you know?
Hell yeah.
Party in the USA, you know?
Speaking of like when you sit down, how much, so I guess not speaking of when you're sitting down, so blah, 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 cut. So, Drew, how much do you have in the vault? What's in the curse words vault?
Oh, okay, I'm just gonna run down my private. Like, I've got one kind of bigger song I'm trying to put together. Like, I've got a few remixes for my Weapon ASAS remix series I'm doing this summer. I've got my collection of songs that I'm kind of setting aside for the next album, which is, let me see, possible songs. Got like 9 possible songs. So, yeah, I fucked up and put out a lot of fun. And because like, basically a lot of fun was like, oh, this is kind of almost everything that I learned from making self-titled. So I wanted to drop a quick little single after self-titled that was just like a fucking fun little get one done and churn it out type of situation. But yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of ideas. I got a lot of like guitar stuff and like I have like all these ambitions for projects that I think would be fun. And yeah, I'm basically always coming up with ideas, but the stuff that like fits together is the album right now. So
All right.
album number 2.
Curse words LP2. Get stoked for it. It's coming out whenever Drew feels like it.
Yeah,
keep your
I'm
eye-
excited
let's-
about it. I tried to keep it like switch it up. I like got the vocal pop songs and like, you know, like some more like breaky like drum and bass type stuff. But yeah, like I got some emotive type stuff going. So we'll see.
Right.
It's gonna be fucking great though whenever I finally drop it.
Yeah. No rush on it, but can't wait to hear it.
I'm gonna be giving it to you like hella early, so
Yeah.
I might as well just give you like all the tracks now. Honestly,
Yeah. I hear him develop a little bit more.
yeah,
Yeah. That's like so cool. That's my favorite thing about getting demos is like, all right, this is how it sounds now when it
well,
drops.
I used some of like my demos like with shows with you and stuff. So
Yeah, I've heard some stuff with shows
and like switching them up later. I've got a few of those. Like I've got like some stuff that I wrote a long ass time ago that I'm like, oh, I can fucking flip that shit, make that work right now. I like looking through my old shit.
I have a lot of like old Ivory Tower stuff that like I flipped. There was that the 420 comp for labgrown. I just did that Ivory Tower song that I had about smoking weed.
Hell yeah. That was awesome. That comp was sick.
That was a good time. nobody. So we passed the date for the cover comp. Nobody submitted at
Nobody
all
submitted the. Okay.
for the cover comp. So I just deleted the posts. So if anyone was wondering what was going on with that, nobody submitted. So thanks. It was pretty specific of a song to submit though. So I kind of get why people didn't do it.
The pressure.
Because
It's
it was
the pressure.
Because it wasn't like, oh, cover a song. It was cover one of your peers' songs.
I did flip a ugly. He's not my peer, but I flipped the
Ugly Boy is your
song.
peer. Y'all are in the same.
I would say. All I'm gonna say is like I like Ugly Boy's music, so
Ugly Boy, like,
flipping that song was sick.
I guess like clout wise, Ugly Boy's like, a couple grades above us, but we're all in the same school still,
yeah, I don't know. I always get really nervous when like I'm talking about like people in the like scene or scene-ish because I don't really know anyone, so it's like, try to just like I love when people that I follow or that I listen to their music, whenever they drop like stems, I'm always like, grab up that vocal sample, flip it up. I'm making music anyway, might as well use this. Like, so, and that like specific vocal take was like really well done, super clean, sounded great, despondency.
Yeah, and now you just have that flip though. So, yeah. I forgot what I was gonna ask now. What I was gonna say. God damn it. So, curse words, Drew, where are you from?
From Missouri.
Nice. But also, sometimes Missouri's not nice, but
definitely not nice. I'm from like the St. Louis area, so.
Okay. And how long have you been making music?
I was in a pop punk band. I was always in like different bands with different friends and stuff. So just like all kinds of shit. It's like pop punk, screamo, fucking doom metal. I love playing and listening to and jamming to doom metal and black metal. So that's always fun. Never really took off with any of those bands, but it's a lot of like learning.
Yeah,
but the whole time
fun, right?
I had my DAW, like, so I'd get home from band practice and then stay up till like 3 a.m. making a song, like fucking around, literally not know what I'm doing, but just fucking around on like Fruity Loops. So
hell yeah. And how long have you been making music as curse words?
I would say, I don't know. Like, I dropped curse words, I think 2011, I'm pretty sure. There might be some older stuff. Curse words as like a pop project, that when I wanted to do it, like I like basically went to this party and did some of the songs and it worked, but like someone told me that the dude was like, yeah, like he just wanted you to play your songs, but he was making fun of them earlier. So it's like, I don't know, like like kind of fucked me up a little bit. So I didn't fuck with pop for a minute, but once I like had a lot of time to sit down and actually like fuck with it, like I sat down and actually fucked with it, and like always wanted to make pop music, had time, sat down, did it, felt good about it, and that's where we are. Before that, it was like really just like I like to make like cinematic sounding music or like ambient music. I like witch house. It's all a matter of just like getting to a level production quality level where I feel comfortable. And then like finally I was there. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fuck with pop music. Let's make some pop music.
That is about the same that I did. I like had my DAW for like ever, and I always made like ambient music, or I had on my Bandcamp is the So Glass project, which was like just these fucking weird ass compositions, just like weird compositions. A lot of samples from Community, because I made it all while watching Community for like the first and second time.
Nice.
Yeah. And
that show's crazy.
That show is crazy.
That show was really like put together and then was just like crazy.
I have my critiques, but overall, like, it's entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
The big question is, where did curse words come from? What's up with being called curse words?
It's like when I was explaining the first name, which was like weird. It was like spell whatever, and then I was like, like curse words, but like words for a curse, and I thought it was funny, and that's where it really came. Whenever I was explaining it to someone, and then they referenced it as like, oh yeah, curse words, and I was like, yeah, curse words, but it's like, I don't know. I just think it's funny because it is like curse words, like, and whenever I sent music to the local radio station to get played, they were like, oh yeah, there's too much curse words. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I send non-edited shit, all amateur like, to a radio station expecting them to play it.
Hey, I had a radio station play like a song that I definitely said fuck in, which they'd found.
It was
on
complex,
Bandcamp.
like, damn. Like complex. Let me cuss in it. Come on.
Come on, radio station. That's a good one. It's a real good one.
It's a good one.
I love that one. It's a song I like to. Always makes me want to have an edible. That's for sure.
Smoking in the car, she got them fucking brownies.
That song was a good summer song for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's I love that about that song. That's like, that was a good stepping stone, being like, yo, fucking pop music's working, bro. So
yeah, because that was the first song I heard by you, and I was like, this guy rules.
Thank you.
Outside of music, what does your life look like?
Basically, I just like work a lot. Really?
Right.
Yeah. I work a lot. I hang out with my friends and hang out with my dog and my cat, my girl. Fucking chilling at the spot. We like to I like to watch like shows all the time and shit, and like I love movies. Like I'm a movie guy for sure. I would say I'm a big time movie buff, but I like movies. Like I like cinema. So I'm just chilling, fucking smoking, watching a movie, you know what I'm saying? That's like being cozy. Like that's where I'm at.
Usually I ask 3 pieces of media, but I want to ask 3 movies that you would recommend to the listeners of this podcast.
Okay. So one of my favorite movies is for sure, I really like the movie Interstellar. It's like just an amazing film. I love science fiction and like fantasy. I like speculative fiction. I feel like that was a really good, really calculated, like as far as like the vibe goes and the production. The score was phenomenal. Fucking Timothy Chalamet was in it. Shout out. Like, that kid's crazy. Great actor. I don't know, and it had like 2001 Space Odyssey vibes, and I thought that was sick too. Yeah, and it looked pretty good. So, Interstellar, if you fuck with Interstellar, like at least listen to the score or something. I don't know. Second movie, like I'm gonna say, like a real, like, you know how you said earlier, like, oh, Drew, your music, like fucking, I always hear new shit whenever I listen to it. Well, I feel like a comedy where I always hear a new joke or like a subtle, like a slight is Dumb and Dumber. And I just feel like line for line, the amount of the density of like funny for me is, it's always funny, but like, I don't know. It's good. I like that a lot. And I really like the movie Akira, like the old school anime Akira. I like that shit a lot. That would be like for sure in my top three that I would recommend for sure. It's just really good. Like I love hand-drawn, gritty hand-drawn animation. Like if you could get a copy of Akira on VHS, like that would be like the best way to watch it.
All right. On VHS. I have not watched a VHS in ages.
Yeah. I used to have a huge VHS collection, but I got rid of all of it because I was just like done. I was moving so much. I was just like, I'm not hauling around all these fucking VHS.
Yeah. Do you miss them?
Not really. I mean, there's not, now you could just, honestly, some stuff is like cool to watch on a VHS, like a nice old school hand-drawn animation, like, but I feel like you could basically get anything on like fucking Amazon or like go to, you know, someone that you know might have it, you could borrow it or, you know, some shit, but I feel like honestly, like, there's just so much media as far as like watching.
Drew, do you have anything else you want to say on the podcast?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like, super sick sitting down, getting to talk to you. Like, I really appreciate you having me. Like, honestly, thank you so much for just like always like making me feel good about my projects. You know, I appreciate it. And thanks for having me. And if anyone's listening to this that doesn't have like a way to like kind of like create or like, I highly suggest like figuring some kind of like project that you can just like make and kind of put your mind to work, because it's pretty therapeutic. And you get to meet cool people along the way for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And get ready for this next shit. Like, if you're listening to this because you like curse words, like, it's good. Like, I'm just letting you guys know. Like, I'm fucking always doing this. I love it. I hope you love it. Like, I want people to listen to my shit and be like, this shit is like sick. Like, that's what I'm shooting for. So I hope you guys listen to my cool new sick shit, bruh.
Hell yeah. All right. So we can stop recording.
Okay. Stop it.